What's up, Heathens? For my next fantasy booking video, I'm going to be booking the AEW World Championship from now, right before Forbidden Door, all the way through the end of the year. The main points of it, the main matches, the pay-per-views, what we're going to be focusing on. So if you love wrestling, if you're into fantasy booking, if you want to give me ideas on what you want to see fantasy booked or talked about as far as wrestling, go ahead, drop a comment, leave a like, give me a follow, and we're going to get into it. Now, my goal in this fantasy booking not only is to hit very important story points that they're being presented on AEW, like Mark Briscoe versus MJF, the Don Callis family, the Death Riders, Will Ospreay. I really want to emphasize how many primetime world level athletes there are and really just build that main event scene. That way it's not just MJF, not Swerve. You're going to build multiple stars. That way you can constantly have the mix in of the Shark Tank. Now, the first match that we're going to be focusing on is at Forbidden Door, the final match of the Owen Hart tournament between Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, two people that know each other so well and that have so much history. And the focal point of this is going to be this killer mentality in both of them. You have Moxley and the Death Riders really grinding on Will Ospreay and focusing on making him the most dangerous, the greatest, the most polished version of him that they can leading into this because they know Swerve is a killer. Swerve's taking everyone out. So they push him to the limit and make sure he is at the top of his game going into this match. Now, the final moments of this match at Forbidden Door, Swerve and Will Ospreay leaving it absolutely all in the ring. And right when you think Swerve's going to win with the vertebreaker, Will Ospreay manages to get out of it, hits a hidden blade, gets the pin. He is your winner, and he is going to be getting the title shot at All In his home country at Wembley. I would follow this up with Swerve going on an absolute fucking rampage the following week. Have him go in and he's stomping the Death Riders out. He's stomping out random backstage people. He's stomping out jobbers. He's stomping out Ring of Honor people. He's attacking anyone and everyone until someone can put a stop to him. Between Redemption and Forbidden Door, have Swerve continue his rampage. Have him going after everyone. And right when Will Ospreay's tired of it, he's calling him out. He's going to beat his ass for attacking everyone. He's going to be the bearer. He already beat him. He's going to be the bearer to do it again. Have Hangman come back. Have him feel betrayed by Ospreay because Ospreay is going back to the Death Riders. Continue that story of everyone had to come together to take the world title away from Moxley, to stop the intervention of the Death Riders in every match, and how Hollywood feels that Ospreay comes back, goes to be a killer, and ends up joining them. Have Hangman be absolutely furious that he can't go for the world title anymore. And on top of that, you have a betrayal of Ospreay's character in Hangman's eyes. He doesn't want him anywhere near that world title. Now, during this time when Swerve is still rampaging and no one's really stopping him at this point, as much as they've tried, he manages to get away. Other infighting, he is still the killer on the loose, essentially. I would have him go back after Brody King one more time, and Bandito, because they're stepping up. They're going to be the good guys. They're the only ones who can put boots to ass and stop Swerve, finally. They're the only ones who aren't going for the world title, who are able to go toe-to-toe with him. And I would have Brody and Bandito get the upper hand only for a new team to debut. I would have that new team be the New Day. Now, they're going to get a rebrand, whatever it may be, but bring them in, show them as the heels they could have been if given the chance in WWE. Have them be the right and left hand for Swerve's new killer mogul embassy. Have them be the focal point of now he's got more backup. He can go on a bigger rampage. The only people that can stop him are Brodito. But at Redemption, you have New Day and Swerve, Brodito, and a mystery partner, and it's none other than the other Hound of Hell, Buddy Murphy, making his return and putting boots to ass taking on the New Day and really showing off his skills. This also gives him a little bit of leeway to not be in the match constantly, um, and just to give him, that leeway on his first match back after his ankle was absolutely destroyed. Now we can keep MJF defending his world championship at Redemption against Mark Briscoe after Mark Briscoe wins the 6-on-6. I would have it be Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Speedball Bailey, Orange Cassidy, and a mystery partner versus Andrade, MJF, Mark Davis, Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer. You have all this big beefy monsters in there. MJF thinks that's going to be his ticket to winning. You don't need to have Kyle Fletcher and Okada in there. You build them with Kenosuke in the meantime. You have this unstoppable team. Andrade only does it because he wants a world title shot after this. But have Mark Briscoe win and have the sixth man be Hangman. Now, obviously, Hangman can't challenge for the world title, but have his motivation coming back specifically in this match as a middle finger to MJF. Because MJF is so hell-bent on Mark Briscoe not being anywhere near the world championship and going to such lengths, Hangman comes back to ensure I'm going to be the biggest thorn in your side to MJF as I possibly can. And if that's putting Mark Briscoe in a world title match, that's what I'm going to do. Now, at Redemption, you're going to have Mark Briscoe, MJF, world title because he won that 6-on-6 cage match. I would have Mark Briscoe win. Have Hangman get involved again, really wanting to make sure that A, it's not MJF in there, and B, he doesn't respect the Don Callis family. He doesn't want Andrade in there. He knows Mark Briscoe will fight them off, and he can believe in Mark Briscoe, just like he was believed in as the cowboy. So following Redemption, you have Mark Briscoe as your World Heavyweight Champion, and his first match is against Andrade, who works out a deal with Don Callis and Tony Khan to get that world title match. And have Mark Briscoe win. Have him win that first one. Build Andrade and a little bit more of a wedge in the Don Callis family at this point. Have some infighting there, and that helps Mark Briscoe end up winning. But it leads into Swerve versus Mark Briscoe because you have, again, Swerve and the New Day and Prince Nana taking on Mark Briscoe, and it's just too much. He can't handle all of that. Conglomeration's busy trying to fight more of the Don Callis family. Have it be a big heel moment of, Mark Briscoe's finally world champion. He pays tribute to his brother, and Swerve cheats, brings in the New Day, brings in Prince Nana, stomps him through cement, hits a vertebreaker on Tax, whatever it may be. He takes the AEW championship, and we have a rematch. You have Will Ospreay versus Swerve at All In, New Day, Prince Nana, they're banned from ringside, and Will Ospreay gets the hometown win. Now, that's going to be going down in August. We still have a few months left. And for me, I would put it as Kyle Fletcher's taking his step to the world title level. Okada and Kenosuke are going at it. Andrade just lost. Kyle is the main asset of the Don Callis family, so it's his turn next. And I would have Will Ospreay win by just a hair, before a triple threat the following month of Proto Shida, Kyle Fletcher, Kenosuke Takeshita, and Will Ospreay. And in that triple threat, Kyle Fletcher pins Kenosuke to be the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, at this point, you go into November, and you have MJF pissed that he's been sidelined between Mark Briscoe and the Hangman going after him, and Swerve trying to take the title. It's November. He's going to go into the holidays as world champion. He takes on Kyle Fletcher, but he loses. Just the Don Callis family can't be bribed at this point. Their guy is the world champ. He can't do a lot of his cheating because of the managers and ringside interference. He cannot beat Kyle in a 1v1 this time around. And at the end of the year, you have the final matchup of Kenosuke versus Kyle Fletcher, and do it in a cage match. Now, Kyle versus Will Ospreay in a cage was one of the better matches of the year. Have Kyle versus Kenosuke, steel cage, former brothers, and have Konosuke win. Now that means you put the belt back on Swerve. You have Mark Briscoe be a world champion for the first time. You have Konosuke be a world champion for the first time. Will Ospreay gets his big hometown win, and Kyle Fletcher, who's inarguably the future face of the company, be world champion. You're passing it around just like they did in the Attitude and the Ruthless Aggression area. You have a big build of crop and really push your young talent. And that's how I would book the AEW championship through the rest of the year. What do you guys think?